welcome back to the 11 o'clock Waffle. I'm Mak Forsyth, and you join me and my guests in the week where Scotland decides. Whilst we could have gone for the easy option of having questions about what's your favourite bagpipe tune, best things to stuff in a haggis, and what's up your kilt, we resisted. Instead, balancing out the Scottish referendum will be our usual questions about the more quirky stories from the past week's news. But who shall be answering them? Let's find out. First up, after his appearance on our World Cup special, this guest recently celebrated his 1-year wedding anniversary in style by being dragged by his wife to Cribbs Causeway shopping centre. Please welcome Richard Jones.
Yeah, I thought that might be me. I had to sort of listen to the whole thing before you finished that. Yeah, that's me. Hey.
Hey, well, you are the only one who's married to a wife on the show today.
Yeah, but you know, could have been one of the others. You don't know. I had to listen to the whole thing.
21st century and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wife okay? Wife still alive?
Yeah, she's alright, yeah. She's fine. Still under the thumb, as ever.
Excellent. It's good to have you back on the show. First full appearance on the Waffle now after your appearance on the World Cup special.
Exactly. It's great to be here.
Okay, and moving on now. Next, making her second appearance having claimed victory last time out, a win today could see her safely booked through to the finale where she'll look to defend her crown. It's the lady with the coolest theme on the show, Jennifer Roberts.
Hello. Charming to be here, as always.
Welcome back.
Hi, Mac. Hi, everyone.
How are you today?
Hey. Yeah, I'm good. I'm eating a lot of vegan chocolate because it was my birthday this week. So my roommate got me a chocolate made of seed and beans and lavender, and it's actually really good. It tastes like soap. I love it. Yeah.
Are you confident you can get a win today?
Oh yeah, always. No question.
Excellent stuff. And
since I've had that attitude, it's worked for me.
Yeah.
I must say.
It's never worked for James.
I should adopt it.
Yeah. Since I started being insufferable, it's worked.
Okay, and lastly, in this week of the Scottish referendum, it would be silly not to have a Scottish guest on, right? Well, sadly they were all too busy working on a prototype show called the 5 o'clock Shortbread. So instead, we bring you a guest who owns tartan socks. Please give a warm waffle welcome to Natasha Wigmore. Hello, welcome to the show.
I know, thank you. I'm not actually wearing my tartan socks. I should be. I didn't even think the Scottish theme show.
No, it's tomorrow. It's fine, because I'm going to be wearing my tartan tie tomorrow.
Ah, yes. A big day. Scotland Divine.
So really, before we press on here, we should answer one key question after Chris put on the Facebook page, who the hell is Natasha Wigmore? Who is Natasha Wigmore?
Don't you know who I am? I don't. It's just me. I'm just me. I'm no one. I wish I was famous, but I'm not.
Anyway, with the series finale only a few episodes away and nobody's place certain, victory today could decide a great deal. So, let's find out who will win. Question 1. And our first topic is all about this.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Yes, that was Scottish icon William Wallace being portrayed by fallen icon Mel Gibson. With the Scottish referendum to take place this week, in fact, let's be honest, it's tomorrow, what better place to start the show than with facts about Scotland? Champion Jenny, you can go first.
My gran's actually Scottish. She's from the Shetland Isles, which is actually closer to Norway than Scotland, but still part of Scotland. And she taught me that Shetland has its own dialect, and it's not Gaelic. There's a bit of Norse in it, and there's a bit of Lowlands, and some of it makes sense, like munt is month, but then there's stuff like Mirri dances, which means Northern Lights, and Tammy Nori means puffin, Hegri means heron, and one I really like is Morulus, which means not matching, like socks, like tartan socks that aren't matching, I guess. And wheelification means excuse, like he was full of wheelifications, and it's just this really weird, cute little language and being really patronising. They were really, really friendly in Shetland, but you can't tell what they're saying. So that's some Shetland dialect for you.
Sounds good.
Excellent stuff. Okay, Richard, what have you got?
Well, I've had a look, through online and stuff. I found out that Scotland has long been considered the motherland of golf, where it was invented in the 15th century. And a fun fact is that it caught on so quickly and was so popular, King James II had the game outlawed because he believed it was preventing his men from training properly for war. So that's an interesting one. And also, I think Scotland and England used to be like 100,000, 10,000 miles apart geologically. They only joined like 10,000 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
We mated.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it's true. Studied geology in that, so...
Okay.
So we just crashed into each other, and we've been fighting ever since.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yeah.
Okay, Tash, first answer on the waffle.
Yeah, well, I've kind of gone down the same line. I sort of wanted to look into Scottish traditions, and I somehow just came across a load of old Scottish wedding traditions, which I thought was quite interesting. Apparently, way back when, they would foretell who they would marry by peeling an apple, peeling it all off in one go, and then they'd wait, as the clock struck 12, I'm going to guess midnight, I don't know, the website didn't say, but I'm going to guess midnight. They then swung it around and then threw it over their left shoulder. And I think it was supposed to land in front of a fire, I don't know, but it would start to shrivel and curl, and it would apparently form a letter, and that letter would be the person that you would marry, apparently.
Yeah,
But
my
I-
family's told me about that before.
No, well, firstly, I wouldn't be able to peel an apple all in one go.
No.
And secondly, I think it limits a lot of letters from the alphabet. Can you imagine, like, a long, spirally piece of apple skin trying to form the letter K?
Yeah.
Or, I just think that's, I
Or
think,
an
everyone would just be, like, marrying people with the letter C, or O, or F.
It'd be bad if you had an uncommon letter, like an M. Imagine trying to form an M.
M.
I know, no one would marry me.
Or M. It's got an extra bit on it.
That's true.
Yeah, how does it form an
We would
X?
be unmarried.
Yeah, how would it form an X? Yeah.
If you're going to marry someone called Xavier.
There we are.
That's why
So-
Professor X is never
wait.
married in the comics.
Or Q for Quentin.
Yeah. See, a lot of people were disadvantaged back then. They
They were.
probably knew that no one would marry them. And then they were just destined to be lonely.
I can imagine them all turning up every time there's a wedding, and then just going away depressed at the end of it. Oh, didn't get it.
One day. One day we'll
One
get
day. They still come in their 80s.
Moving on to question 2 now. The Colombian women's cycling team have caused controversy with their latest outfit, which features a flesh-coloured strip around the middle, causing them to appear nude. But what other fashion disasters have there been? Richard?
Well, I immediately thought back to Lady Gaga's meat dress. So that was a fascinating one. I know she was making a statement and that, but it's like, who made that, That's some sort of request to make. I want my dress to be made of meat. So yeah, that's the one I came up with, and it's just bizarre. And I guess that she had to dispose of it quite quickly afterwards. It would have gone off.
That's a good answer. Jenny?
Oh.
I have made and worn my own bacon dress before, but that's not what I have, because
Really?
I was quite proud of it. Yeah, I post pictures on the Facebook.
A full
It was-
dress made of bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, it was for a scavenger hunt. It doesn't take as much bacon as you think.
We should point out, because this is
my
radio,
gosh.
Jenny, you're not that tall a person.
No, I'm under 5 foot.
Yeah, it was less rashers of bacon than Lady Gaga's.
Yeah.
How did you get it all together? Did you safety pin it or did you?
Yeah, we use staples.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did it hold its shape very well?
It didn't really have a shape. It was pretty baggy.
Sounds
But
good.
yeah, no, it was okay. Yeah.
How many
I'm
packs
really
of bacon-
interested to see a picture now.
How many packs of bacon was it?
I think we bought loads, but we only used a couple.
A couple of pieces of bacon.
Packages.
I was going to say, that's stretching the bacon a lot there.
My boyfriend at the time just ate them all when we were finished.
I hope you cooked them first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fashion disaster I've got is the time I tried to make my own pole dancing costume on the day of the pole dancing show, and decided it didn't have to be stretchy.
Oh.
It didn't work out. I could just hulk out of it if I like tense my muscles. So I just wore my costume that I usually wore in classes. It wasn't a good idea.
Ouch. Okay, Tash.
Well, I initially thought of Lady Gaga as well because it's just whoa.
Yeah,
man.
only just me.
Yeah, but then I just started thinking, well, way back in the 90s, like I was looking at pictures of me as a youngster, and we all wore some shocking things back in the 90s. I have to say, I think that's probably my worst fashion era. But most specifically, do you remember Scousers? They were trousers with a built-in sort of wraparound skirt. They just looked really awful. But I wanted a pair so badly, and like in bright white as well. And my mum, she didn't buy me one, and I was gutted. I thought, how can you not do this to me? Everyone's wearing them. They're so cool. I remember this so vividly. And now I just think, I'm so glad I never wore a pair of those Scousers. They don't even sound like Scousers. I mean, they were awful. Probably one of the worst things ever. Not as worse as what the Colombian cyclists had to wear. I don't know what that designer was thinking.
I haven't actually go to that
awful.
yet.
Well, I hadn't heard about it. So when I Googled it, and when you were saying, oh, it's just the middle, I just thought they'd have their belly buttons on show.
Yeah, same.
No. Well, I wouldn't wear it. I would refuse to wear it.
Oh my
Who
God.
designed it?
It's the crotch area.
I know. Who thought that would be a good idea?
What on earth? Oh my God. Sorry, that's a first-rate reaction there. That is a bit ridiculous.
Let's go to
There are other
question 3 then.
options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question 3 then. The creators of Boris, a robot unveiled at the British Science Festival, believe it will be loading dishwashers in a year's time. Given that loading a dishwasher isn't really that exciting an activity, what other robotic inventions are there? Tash?
Well, I don't know any robots, and I had to Google robotic inventions to think of any. And anyway, it came across Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Dick Van Dyke, wonderful professor he played in that, and he created some wonderful things, including his little breakfast machine. And I just think that's fab. Everyone would have that, wouldn't they? He gets his plate and he puts it on this little moving little train tray thing, and the machine cracks the egg and puts the sausage on the plate, and then the hob moves and it cooks it underneath the plate, and that's so handy. I think that's brilliant. And you know, it was genuinely made as well for the film, and I just think, wow, I want one.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
It's really cool. Yeah, I read as well online. One of the guys who just like written an article about it. It was quite funny. It tickled me. They said, oh, he didn't even check the sausages to see if they were cooked, which is true. Like, you watch it. Literally, these sausages are cooked for a couple of minutes, and then he serves them up to his kids. But hey,
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
bang 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 sausages. Oh, there we go. I know some math.
That's
Jenny?
good.
The only time I really got excited about robots was watching Robot Wars. Remember Robot Wars?
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Love
Remember
Robot
House
Wars.
Robots? Matilda, Circular Lark.
Yeah.
And I think that's the ultimate destiny of robots. As we do with all things that serve us, like dogs and cockerels, we just make them fight each other.
I used to love watching the controllers sort of going over the top, you know.
Yeah, their reactions when
They're
Rosa would just...
Yeah.
The little kids that would be burst into tears because they'd have spent 6 months building this robot, and then within 10 seconds Hypnodisc had ripped it apart.
And then Craig Charles had to deal with it.
Here's another thing, influence of Robot Wars. I sat somewhere the other day and they had on the menu Thermidor sauce. The only reason I knew that was lobster is because they had the Thermidor robot, which looks like a lobster from Robot Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was an
And there
educational
was-
show.
I love
And there was Pussycat, which was like a triangular thing.
Pussycat was awesome.
And the one that flipped people.
Oh, yeah.
That always won.
Yeah, and they used to have that little ditch thing. They had to push them in the ditch, didn't they?
The pit.
Well, the little thing that went down, and if you fell in that, it was
The
over.
pit.
Yeah.
They used to do that when it was going on for too long, didn't they?
What a brilliant idea for a show.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
So awesome. Richard, what's your answer?
Well, I've got several for this one, really. I've just thought, actually, just thinking now, I saw on TV a few months ago, it was actually, I think it was you, Mac, that introduced this to me. Or might have been somewhere else. The guy who turned his cat into a helicopter.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of a bit thick. I laughed at it, but I felt wrong for laughing at it.
It's pointless and it's hilarious. Can you imagine the cat's reaction? You know, and it's like, God, that was incredible.
It's so wrong, but it's really funny.
It's ridiculous. When did he think of that? You know?
I know, yeah. What
I know what
what's going through your mind?
Yeah, my cat's just died. What shall I do? I know. I'll turn it into a helicopter.
Fluffy always had ambitions to reach the sky.
Oh.
I bet he says to all his friends, the cat's up there now. All the friends are like, you mean up in heaven? No, generally just up there. He's a helicopter.
He's above your head.
So that brings us to the end of the opening round. The scores on the doors. On 11 at the back, it's Richard.
What?
Very close on 12, it's Tash.
Woo!
And on 13, just sneaking ahead there because I love Robot Wars, it's Jenny.
Just ahead.
Question 4 now. The new trailer has been released for the much anticipated next Hunger Games movie. Having first watched Hunger Games last Boxing Day with my family and driving my sister mad by constantly pointing out the film was just Running Man but without Arnie, it leads me to ask this question. Whilst the fans wait for the latest dystopia movie, what film with similar themes could they watch in the meantime? Natasha?
Well, here's where I'm just going to disobey the question, because I just think, don't watch a film like that. Watch something fun and have a laugh. Watch Pride, which I think is coming out soon, and it's about UK gay activists during the strike, the miners' strike in the 80s. I just think, have a laugh. Go to the cinema and have a laugh. Don't watch the Hunger Games. Don't think about how awful life could be. Let's watch a film about gay activists.
Watch a dystopian film for homophobic people.
Well, there we go. Yeah, for homophobic people, this would be an awful film for them to watch. I can't wait to watch this film.
Or for pro-Thatcherites?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, despite trying to dodge the question, you've actually answered the question.
There we go. There we go.
Richard?
I knew that all along.
I didn't know what dystopia meant until about 3 minutes ago. So I'm winging this one. Hannah is really into The Walking Dead at the minute, which is the zombies that, you know, have taken over and that. And I do. It's very fascinating, but I do find it very good, The Walking Dead, because anyone can turn at any time, and then they just eat your guts out and stuff like that. There's ordinary domestic things going on at the same time, like people having affairs and stuff like that, all amongst all these sort of zombies, and they call them walkers that could come in at any time. So yeah, based on a winging it sort of mood, that's what I first thought of as an end of the world sort of thing, and it could very easily happen as well.
Plus season 5's about to start.
Exactly. I haven't even seen season 4 yet.
So, you know, they've got 4 seasons to watch until Hunger Games comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll keep them occupied. It's a good
will.
answer.
Thank you. Yeah, they'll keep them occupied. From season 3 there was I think it was 14 episode series, so that's at least 2 or 3 days worth of shows there.
Excellent.
And the new series is coming out this month.
Yeah, it'll be
So
good.
excited.
You're
It's
a
on
fan
the
of it
watch
too.
list.
I can't wait to sob in the fetal position in fear and anguish. I love it.
Okay, Jenny.
The obvious one for me was Battle Royale, which a lot of people have compared the Hunger Games to. It's a Japanese film based on a very violent pulp book of the same title. It is the same plot. It is a bunch of kids on an island who have to kill each other. Otherwise, everyone dies. Everyone explodes. But it really skirts over the political stuff. And there's a little bit of romance in there. But if you really want to focus on the teenagers dying part and not all else, then watch Battle Royale.
There
If
we
you like
are.
that bit of the Hunger Games.
That'll cover it, I think. Question 5. A goldfish in Australia is recovering after having a life-threatening brain tumour removed. The operation cost its owner $200, which is the equivalent of £125 sterling. So, other heartwarming examples of animals being cared for. Tash.
I've gone for, now I saw this recently on a TV programme, but for the life of me I can't remember what it is, but he was this black bear, and unfortunately he was 3 years old, but he'd suffered his whole life with really bad migraines, and you felt really sorry for this bear because obviously you could see him, he couldn't lift his head, like he really struggled to eat as well, and well you know what it's like when you've got a migraine. But this poor bear, you know, he didn't really know what was going on probably, and he couldn't communicate. But they got in this vet, and he performed, apparently, the world's first bear brain surgery. And they put a little tube in his brain because there was a load of liquid and swelling around the brain, giving him this constant migraine. And basically they just fit this tube in, so it drained the fluid and it would go out in his abdomen, and then it would just drain sort of naturally through the body and whatever. But after his operation, he was all fine. He was just like a really happy, playful, well, I wouldn't say playful, but you know, you could see in his eyes that he was back and he could lift his head, and it was such a lovely moment, and he just looked so cute, and that's when you just thought, oh, it's nice. Because you do feel sorry for animals when they're a bit poorly or ill, because you can't say to them, they don't really understand. Well, actually, who knows? Who knows? But I just thought that was really heartwarming to save this poor bear who'd suffered his whole life, and now he could do other bear things.
I normally just take some aspirin, to be honest.
Yeah, you go put the aspirin in the bear's mouth, Richard.
Well, if you knock it out, you could give it some aspirin.
Oh, does he even have a bigger headache then?
Yeah.
Jenny.
There was a story that went viral last year about an arthritic dog, and this very elderly dog, he and his owner had been together for years and years. He was 19 years old, this dog, and his owner the only thing that would soothe this dog's arthritis was when the owner took him into this freezing cold lake, and that was the only thing that would help him sleep in the buoyancy of the water and the cold. And there's this, it was in Lake Superior, I think, and there's this just really heartwarming picture of them together, that the owner would take his dog as often as he could into the water because he felt that's what he owed his best friend. People all over the world donated for this dog's care and everything. And the dog has since passed away. But I think it's really lovely that as terrible as humans can be sometimes, they sort of, his owner and these people who helped made his last years as comfortable as possible.
That is brilliant. And you told that really well as well.
It's so cute.
Okay, Richard, I can hear you tapping away there.
That's not me. Someone else is tapping. I'm not tapping. Tap on. Anyway, yeah, I'm sort of searching sort of as we go here. And I just remember this one, I was watching it, I think it was one of those daytime TV programs that no one really watches.
Except for you.
Yeah, except for me. And it was about this old woman who was struggling with arthritis. She was slowly losing the use of her legs, I think. And she managed to train her dog to basically do everything for her and such like that. And one day she fell over in the shower, and the dog went downstairs and pressed this alarm button for her, and sort of activated the alarm, and that obviously contacts the emergency services. And she'd slowly been trying to encourage him to do that, and then he actually did it. And I find it amazing how you can train a dog, particularly a dog, especially for sort of older people and such like that, to do things that help in everyday life and stuff like that. As well as companionship, they can actually be amazing creatures and such like that.
Yeah.
Aww.
That was good off the top of my head.
That was a lovely, nice, heartwarming one as well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, with everyone's hearts warmed, let's move on to question 6. Less than a week after U2 released their latest album free on iTunes, Apple have released a tool to remove the album after complaints that it had been downloading itself to users' accounts willy-nilly. I just wanted to use the phrase willy-nilly. So, what album would you recommend that they replace U2's Songs of Innocence with? Richard?
Oh no. I as you know, I'm a big music fan and such like that. I say such like that a lot. I've realised that recently. So I've immediately gone for the cheesiest stuff you can go for because of my appalling taste in music. So Steps are good. S Club 7, you're a big fan of them, Mac, aren't you? So any of their albums, they could quite easily replace it and annoy today's younger generation incredibly. So yeah, there's a couple of ideas there.
Okay, we'll cross to Jenny next.
I don't really have anything in specific. I'm not really one for recommending music. I'm not very good at it. Nobody likes my music. But I just like something really, really heavy and ridiculous, like death metal, something like Oppressor or Nuclear Death or Thor's Hammer, just in the hopes that people would have it on shuffle. And you just see people listening to their iPhones and just spasming on the tube.
Yeah, when it just blares out really loud.
Yeah, just something really loud and...
Yeah. I hate it when there's a song on your iPod or something and it's a nice sort of quiet one, and the next one is really loud and it scares you to death.
There's no stabilization.
Well, so you're reacting to something that no one else can hear. Brilliant.
Okay, Tash, what album are you replacing Songs of Innocence with?
I would definitely put Queen Greatest Hits on there, because I was listening to them at the weekend, and I love Queen anyway, but you listen to them and they just put, all of their songs just put you in such a good mood. And God bless Freddie, he's such an amazing singer, and I just love Queen so much. I just love the 80s. I wish I was born in the 80s.
1981, 1982, 1983, pretty much the best years for music.
Yeah.
I'm cheer everyone up.
But the thing with the Queen's Greatest Hits is there's disc 1 and there's disc 2, but which one do you go
There's
for?
also disc 3.
There's disc 3,
Well,
yeah, but that's that.
You just need to put the whole three on there.
All
Put the whole
three.
three. Yeah.
It still counts as an album, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's still an album.
Okay, well that brings us on to the scores then. At the back on 21, it's Richard.
Of course it is.
And tied on 24, Jenny and Tash.
Oh, it's always so close.
So close. We should point out that we have a Waffle, an 11 o'clock Waffle Facebook, YouTube and Twitter page. Chris has given me the logins for the Twitter page, so I can actually look at that now and post on there. Our teaser question has returned, which this week picked up from a topic from last week of alternative roles for Sean Connery. Carla went with any role played by Michael Cera, which if you think of Juno makes that film completely weird.
That's so creepy.
Chris
He could
Stanley
have been
went
Doc
with...
from The Best of the Future.
He could have been Doc in Back to the Future. That would have been interesting.
It would.
Chris Stanley's gone Sean Connery as Forrest Gump.
Amazing.
That'd be brilliant.
Kathy Smedley has cast him as Willy Wonka. And Loz Shanahan has gone with Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't replace good old Tim
Loz has
Curry.
even gone to the effort of writing in what the lyrics would sound like. Come up to the lab and she wash on the slab.
Oh, no.
So,
Blasphemy.
yeah, but I think for that reaction, I think Loz has got to be this week's winner for the teaser with Frankenfurter as Sean Connery. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. I believe that's how those things work.
Yeah.
Well done. You had to look that up, didn't you?
Well, I didn't look it up. I tried to remember it. I unlike you, Richard, I don't rely on the iPad for all my knowledge.
No, I do.
But we know, Richard.
You know.
Question 7, and it's a rare week when tech questions outweigh the animal ones. A Canon printer has been hacked to run the classic video game Doom. What I love about this story is that the guy who did it complained as to how annoying and time-consuming it was. Why bother to...
Why do it?
Yeah, why bother besides to just prove a point nobody else seemed to be bothered before to prove before he came along to show that it could be done.
Someone was forcing you to do it by the sounds of it. What
I
happened?
don't understand. How can you get a printer to help you with a video game? I just don't understand.
I don't get. How would you even know it's on there? How does it run it?
From what I remember from the article, he found that you can hack the Pixma ones. You're actually, because they work off the internet, you can actually access them online. And then when he looked at it at a coding level, it actually had the software on there that he can make amendments to put in the classic video game Doom.
I now fully understand what you just said. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it now.
Yeah, good.
Eureka.
Good, we're all on board.
What even is Doom? I've never even heard of this.
Oh, Tash, no, don't.
Oh.
Such a good game.
Oh, really? Oh.
It's a classic.
I'm only joking. I know what it is. It's my favourite too.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, points all round.
Yeah.
Question 7 then. What other great hacks have there been? Jenny?
I want to talk about the Max Headroom television hack. I think it was 87, and it happened twice. That for a few minutes, someone just pirated this Chicago TV channel, and the first time it was during the sport, and the second time it was during an episode of Doctor Who. It was a Tom Baker one, The Horror of Fang Rock, according to Wikipedia. It just cut out, and it was this guy dressed as Max Headroom in a kind of weird mask and a voice distorter, just kind of saying obscenities and giving the finger and spanking some guy in a French maid outfit, and it's just bizarre. It's on YouTube. It's kind of funny and kind of scary, and I just find it odd that they went to all this trouble of hijacking a TV channel, and they didn't call for revolution. They didn't put a point across. They just did this weird stuff. It's brilliant.
It does sound quite brilliant.
It sounds amazing.
I like that time a bit better.
They never got caught.
Oh, really?
That's a good hacker.
Richard next.
To be honest, I struggled with this one, but I've immediately gone. I've typed in greatest hacks of all time on one of your brilliant search engines, and it comes up with so much stuff. It's terrible. So I've gone for the word of films and some of the greatest hacks on there, and I found it incredible how in Independence Day we managed to defeat the aliens with a computer virus. They wouldn't have thought of that. That's the one thing they underestimated, a 1990s computer virus. And it worked, and we destroyed them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the aliens come back with in the second and third films.
Yeah, the very belated sequel.
Surely they just stand back from a distance and just blow us out of the sky. It's the safest. Yeah, that's what I came up with.
Okay, and Tash.
Well, I'm going back to the 80s as well. Again, I just typed into greatest hacks, and came up with, apparently in 1983, there was a live computer special program on BBC. I don't know whether it's BBC One or BBC Two. I don't know. They were demonstrating how to use email, and it was live. And as they just logged on, this message came up, this poem or this little song came up, telling them that they'd been hacked. And I will read you this song. I mean, I could try and sing it, but I'll just be singing it to a made-up tune. So it's called, I can't sing either. Put another part. Oh, so I'm going to kind of rap as well. So this is going to be really embarrassing because I think it would be like a rap. Put another password in, bomb it out, try again. Try to get past, logging in. We're hacking. Try his first wife's maiden name. This is more than just a game. It's real fun, but just the same, it's hacking. And that was it.
That's a bit heavy-handed.
That's brilliant.
Just so you definitely know you have been hacked.
I'm surprised it wasn't something more rude than that. To be honest.
Well, this was 1983. To be honest, this was probably quite shocking back then.
Probably was. Yeah, good point.
I think a round of applause for Tash for being the first guest to rap on the show.
Oh, a man alive.
I bet you got points for that too.
I bet I've got points for that. I can't rap to save my life.
That wasn't bad.
Can you do any better, Richard?
Oh, no. No, I am not a very good singer, as my wife continually tells me.
Let's move on to question 8 then. I'm sure it's all crossed your minds what we could lose if the Scottish vote goes yes. Whiskey, shortbread, iron brew, Karen Gillan, these things could all be ripped from our lives. But who or what is Scotland's greatest export? Tash?
I don't know, so I thought I'd go into a bit more because I didn't want to be boring like whiskey or do anything like that. And again, another recurring theme, going back to the 80s, my favourite decade. Scotland apparently exported sand to Saudi Arabia because they decided they didn't want to use up their own sand just for making concrete. So they used our sand for making concrete and then building all of their lovely tall buildings that they've got over there. Oh, that was quite cool.
Yeah, that's quite cool. But you think they'd have enough sand over there?
They didn't want to lose it. They had a ban, apparently, on exporting. They would only import sand. So I think they're very precious about that sand. I think they kind of need to share.
They must be.
Share it with the world. Come on now. It's not theirs. It's the world.
Scottish sand.
Scottish sand. I'm
Who knew
surprised
that was going to come up on the show?
Scottish sand.
Okay, Richard.
Well, I've sort of seen that whiskey is basically their biggest export. In the year 2012, they made 3.9 billion of whiskey, which I found quite incredible. That doesn't include oil and gas, but obviously I think they do a lot of shale stuff in the North Sea, so that's another export. But yeah, whiskey would be my main one that I came up with, 3.9 billion. It's quite a lot of money.
Wow,
So good luck for anyone in England that likes whiskey.
That's a lot. Okay, Jenny, big stuff here with the final round approaching.
I'm going to go with inventors and inventions. Scottish people invented everything. The first working television was John Logie Baird, the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, the bicycle, radio, radar, just everything that we rely on.
Absolutely. Pretty much everything was invented by Scotland, wasn't it?
Everything. There's nothing that wasn't invented in Scotland.
What about English people? Scotland invent them?
That would be the biggest twist in the universe. The twist of it all is that the oppressive English were invented by Scotland.
The robots that are English people were invented by Alexander Graham Bell.
We're actually all robots.
Mind blown.
Do I get points for that?
No. But we do have come to the final round now, where our guests will present a news headline followed by a 20-second summary of the story. The story will either be true and something from the past week's news, or purely fictional. Then be up to the other guests to decide whether they feel it's true or false, and points will be awarded accordingly. So Jenny, just ahead at the minute. You get to pick the running order now. So how would you like it to fall?
I'm going to say me, then Richard, then Tash.
Okie doke. Right, so Jenny, what's your news headline?
PCA investigate man who killed badger with another badger. There was a badger set underneath the caravan and it was annoying him, and he had a taxidermy badger lying around, and he lured the badger out and beat it to death with this taxidermy badger in some kind of justice.
Wow, okay, that's a bit odd. Richard, what's your headline and story?
Well, I've looked into this one. Yeah, you'll be surprised I actually looked into this one. It's a story from America that I saw. Don't think it's the Mississippi River, but one of the other ones. A beaver, you know how they build dams across waterways and that? Well, this beaver built this dam so well, it actually diverted the water underground through another sort of tributary and actually flooded someone's basement. And it took days to decipher the reasoning behind it, and it was because of this beaver. He built this brilliant dam across a river and diverted all the water into these people's basement.
One beaver?
Well, no, I think it must have been a group of them.
Yeah.
I think that's one hell of a job for one beaver,
That is.
to be honest.
It's a hard task.
And Tash.
Okay, my headline. Tesco replaced customers' bread with a whole octopus because of stock shortage. So basically this customer put on their online shopping order, and one of the Every Little Helps Tesco workers was putting it all in the trolley and doing it as he goes. And this poor customer wanted a loaf of walnut bread. Now, Tesco had run out, so he decided, I know, I'll substitute it and I'll give him an octopus, just a whole octopus. And so the customer got his shopping, didn't think anything of it until he just thought, yeah, my shopping smells a bit fishy. And then he discovered an octopus in it. And when he went to Tesco's, they basically replied saying, they just said, oh, okay, we'll give you a couple of squid back for it.
Aww. Okay, so we've got the badger killing badger, the beaver causing a flood, and the octopus substitute for bread. Rich, which of those do you think is true or false?
Well, I think the octopus thing, it sounds so ridiculous it could be true. It's one of those that either that's a brilliant one that's made up, so I'll go for that one's true, but the other one with the badger is false.
Okay, Jenny, what are you thinking?
I don't believe the octopus story. You can't spread jam on an octopus. But I do believe Richard's story.
Okay, and Tash?
I think Jenny's story, I think it's so horrific. I want to say it's false because I just can't believe that someone would be that mean to a badger to lure it and then beat it with one of its own. I don't want to believe it. So I'm going to say it's false.
Okay.
And I'll be greatly ashamed if it's true. But Richard's, I think it does. It sounds so incredible and so untrue that I think it's true. So I'm going to say true.
Okay, this could be a very interesting final round. Jenny, did the man use a stuffed badger to kill another badger?
No, the badger's fine.
Phew.
So Richard and Tash share the points there. Okay, the
That's good news all round.
beaver causing the flood. Is that true or false?
No, made it up off the top of my head.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wow, so that's 3 points to
Very
Richard
convincing.
there.
Yes.
that was a really good story.
Yeah.
Okay, and here we come to the final bit, so it all hinges on this. Tesco replaced bread with octopus. True or false?
It's actually true. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand what was going through that Tesco worker's head, but it's true. And apparently it was trending on Twitter. But yes, he genuinely thought, oh man, we've run out of walnut bread. What shall I substitute it for? And thought, I'll give them an octopus.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
God, I did well in that round.
So this brings us to the final scores. At the back on 35, I'm not sure how it's happened, Jenny.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I'm not lost.
On 36 points, and a very good performance, it's Tash.
Woo!
But with that amazing final round, on 38, it's Richard.
Yes, I was saved by a beaver. Wow, I won. I can't believe that. That must have been one of the biggest turnarounds you've ever had. I must have been losing till that last round.
You were. You have been saved by a beaver.
I have been saved by a beaver. Love it.
Jenny, your first loss of for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, it just proves how much that last round can change everything.
It really can. Can't believe that.
Wow, so this is a major upset with the finale just a few shows away.
Yeah, I'm going to have to reschedule all my plans. Step on my game. Yeah.
I'm going out on the town tonight.
The wife's out and you're going out to celebrate.
Yeah. Or I might just get to the gym, you know.
This is what this show means to people, folks. Okay, a victory on this, and they just go out on a school night.
It's the sobbing
So
fetal
hardcore.
position for me again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww.
Well, we should probably wrap up this week's show, but we'll be back next week. Remember, as we're approaching the finale, every show and every victory becomes more important. Thank you this week to Champion Jenny.
Thank you, guys.
Tash,
Thank you.
and of course, this week's surprise winner, Richard Jones.
Yay. You can't believe you're saying that, can you?
No, I really can't, and I don't think Gibbar's going to be too happy when you let him know either.
Well, thank you.
Okay, we shall be back next week. Everybody have a fantastic week. Thank you, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.